Okay, that should be fixed. And I'm going to have to go in there and delete that blank stream. There it is. Delete forever. Goodbye. There we are. All right, cool. Back to it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How are we ever going to get through this, you guys? Oh my gosh. We're going to have to fly. Skip over some stuff here and there. All right. Who do we have here? Melania Trump presented with a medallion in New York Stock Exchange. Oh yeah, didn't she ring the bell?
Thank you. Good morning.
Geez, kind of quiet. First Lady Melania Trump presented with medallion again. Okay, we'll skip. Thousands calling for Ilhan Omar to be investigated. It's an AI video, according to the thingy here. But apparently she was attacked in some fashion. Wow, I missed this one. It's it's crazy how just totally fine it is going through your day without a phone and not knowing any of this and only finding it out later. Changes nothing about my day other than the fact that I'm not doom scrolling all the time, which is good. It's nice. Yep, haven't heard of this one yet. He apparently said some text to a neighbor, I might get arrested. Anthony James Kazimierzak or whatever. So I guess he went to the town hall. He's been heavily medicated due to a car wreck that affected his spine years ago, which left him not very physically able to do much at all. Pretty conservative guy who does not like Omar. Sprayed an unknown substance at her. It's like it's bacon grease. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. I take that back. Omar asked for a napkin after she was sprayed with liquid, which people around her said smelled terrible. She would have smelled delicious if it was bacon. It smelled like vinegar or ammonia. Odor was overwhelming. Really apple cider vinegary smell. Started to smell like ammonia, strong pure ammonia smell. Weird. It was literally apple cider vinegar. That's it. Apple. She was attacked with apple cider vinegar and in an acid attack. I'm sure that's how they'll pitch it in the media. I guess technically they're right. Nicki Minaj pledges cash to support Trump accounts for Barb's babies. Whatever that might be, I don't know. supporting the youngins. Okay, that's cool.
Two stats I want to point out, if I could. I like to bring the receipts when I know the press will be in the room. 38% of Americans don't own stock, but with these Trump accounts now, every single newborn child within the years of eligibility will be invested in the stock market. And I think that's a really beautiful thing. And I know Secretary McMahon at the Department of Education is working really hard to sort of upgrade our curriculum across the country, allowing states to lead first so that children can learn about the stock market, can learn about our economy, can learn about these basic life skills that they should be taught in our classrooms. This is something our children are going to be learning about for generations to come and benefiting from themselves. And then secondly, this statistic blew me away so much, I had the fact checkers fact check it again, but it's true. As parents, if we make maximum contributions to our child's Trump account, the projected value will be nearly $1.1 million by the time they are 28 years old. That is incredible. By the time your child is 28 years old, the Trump account could earn them up to $1.1 million. I'm 28 years old right now. I wish I had a Trump account back in 1997. So this is amazing.
Tell me about it. Bank of America to match $1,000 government deposits for Trump accounts. Screw you, Bank of America. You suck. And this, as nice as that is, not enough. Not going to fix it. You still suck.
We've got business leaders, we've got philanthropists, we've got companies that are going to...
Boy, they got everybody out talking about this one today.
Talk about contributing to the Trump account. And today, we want to raise the profile. We want all Americans to start signing up. So just this week, since the start of filing season with the IRS, we have had 600,000 families out of an estimated 25 million already fill out Form 4547.
So people are signing up.
We've got business leaders, we've got philanthropists, we've got companies that are going to talk about contributing to the Trump account. And
not bad. All right.
She went crazy when she heard
Nicki Minaj
that this was happening. I want to go. You know, she happens to be in the wrong state right now for that. But when she heard that there's a certain person that's here who's the greatest and most successful female rapper in history, Nicki Minaj. Come on. And, you know, and Nicki makes a lot of cash. Not as much as Michael Dell. Not quite. Not as much. But that's okay. But Nicki makes a lot of money, and she's generously stepping up. She's investing hundreds of thousands of dollars in Trump accounts to support the children and really the children of her incredible fans. That's great. Focus on that. Why should you give to somebody else's fans? Give to your fans. I like that. But and I
wait. So she's specifically for her fans? Really? I mean, if so, that's an interesting move. Okay. Oh, here she is.
Hello. Well, I don't know what to say, but I will say that I am probably the president's #1 fan.
Wow.
And that's not going to change. And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. And it's going to motivate all of us to support him more. We're not going to let them get away with bullying him and, you know, the smear campaigns. It's not going to work, okay? He has a lot of force behind him, and God is protecting him. Amen.
What was that all about at the end?
And God is protecting him. Amen.
Should I go? Okay. Should I go this way? I think that's what it was. Huh. I didn't know they were so close. So buddy. Interesting.
When Trump accounts officially launch on July 4th of this year, every parent will be able to activate their accounts and access the funds at the trumpaccounts.gov. So it's all set up, all ready to go. It's beautiful. The site is beautiful. On that glorious day, we also expect to have commitments from generous private individuals in all 50 states, and they'll be making additional contributions for children in their own states. And when Trump accounts officially launch on July 4th,
on behalf of all the entrepreneurs in America, I'd like
Mr. Wonderful.
to thank you, Mr. President, because we create 72% of the jobs. Companies 5 to 500 employees, and all we care about is policy. We love policy, pro-business policy, and these accounts are fantastic for independence and support. I thank you very much. It's all about the entrepreneur, and I think you know that, sir. On behalf
Dozens of major employers signing up to add Trump accounts contributions to their employee benefits packages.
when Trump accounts officially launch on July 4th of this year, every parent will be able to activate their accounts and access the funds at the trumpaccounts.gov. So it's all set up, all ready to go. It's beautiful. The site is beautiful. On that glorious day, we also expect to have commitments from generous private individuals in all 50 states, and they'll be making additional contributions for children in their own states. And when Trump accounts officially launch on July 4th of this year, every parent will be able to activate their accounts and access the funds at the trumpaccounts.gov. When Trump accounts officially launch on July 4th of this year, every parent will be able to activate their...
Same thing.
Thank you, Mr. President. As you heard from Brad, the fact that this bill got passed itself was a miracle, and it creates a platform for communities, for families, for corporations, for philanthropists to add to these accounts. And in not too many years, essentially every child in America will have savings invested in the greatest companies in this country. And that will change the face of this country over the next 10, 20, 30 years. We couldn't be more excited about this and the opportunity to make a difference. The best investment a country can make is in its people, especially in its children. And this creates an incredible platform for that to occur at enormous scale. And we're excited to see it all come together. Thank you all so much.
Well, 4 years ago, we set off on a journey to reconnect
Brad Gerstner of AltCap.
every child in America with the American dream. This president ran on a Main Street agenda that too many people had been left out and left behind. And his articulation of no tax on tips, that doesn't help rich folks. That helps those left out and left behind. No tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. And when Ted Cruz authored the Invest America Act in the Senate, and Michael Dell partnered with me to bring the private sector to bear on this, we had the opportunity that this president was willing to sign. He immediately understood the impact. That this wasn't about the wealthy folks in America. This was about the 50 million American families who will be lifted up and reconnected to the American dream, because this is now the law of the land. Forevermore, every child in America, from rural Missouri to rural Indiana, from Trenton to Compton, is going to start off life with an investment account at birth, seeded with $1,000 where they privately own NVIDIA and Microsoft, all the greatest companies in this country, right? Not dependent on government, independent from government. Not more socialism. The answer to more socialism is more capitalism. This makes every child in America a capitalist from birth, and it would not have happened without the leadership of our Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, without the leadership of the Speaker and Ted Cruz in the Senate, but most importantly, and every business leader in America will tell you this, for too long they had no access in Washington to the White House. People didn't want to hear their ideas. This president is voracious in his desire to hear from America's leaders about how to make America better. This is citizen democracy at its best. An idea that started around a kitchen table in Silicon Valley makes its way to this day. I'm humbled and honored to be here, and I'm grateful for your leadership.
Sorry.
Well, 4 years.
Falling asleep. A long day. Oh boy.
With us today is Craig Smith, a fourth-generation family farmer and volunteer firefighter from Culpeper, Virginia, along with his wonderful wife, Heather. Craig and Heather have an 18-month-old son and a 1-month-old that they also welcomed just recently, twin boys. And they can't wait to activate Trump accounts for all 3 of their children this July 4th. Craig and Heather, do you want to come up here, Craig and Heather?
Nice. Nice some little ones out.
We just want to thank President Trump for all of his hard work and dedication to American families and farm families like ours. Farming is not always easy, and sometimes margins are tight, so investments like this into our children really help us to buy diapers and formula and not have to worry about making financial decisions for them this early on. So thank you very much, President Trump.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Dancing. Governor Walz refers to Tom Homan as a professional.
First of all, the meeting with Tom Homan, how did that go? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, Tom Homan's a professional, which
Interesting.
is a lot more than Bovino and Kristi Noem. But look, I think the thing we said is we're very clear about this, that we need these folks out of Minnesota, and we need justice for Renee Good and for Alex, and those were things that we came with. I think the thing that I'm most concerned about is the tone was different. There was a tone shift. I wish it was because of the horrific, shooting that somebody saw some morality, but I think it's probably the press. But with that being said, I'm not interested in a more efficient Metro surge. I'm ready for them to get out of here, and I think that's where Minnesotans are talking about. So it was progress. Look,
not happening.
Never got a call from Bovino or Noem.
Never.
Nothing. No, nothing. When they're coming here, and Tom Homan landed last night, and he called me last night and asked if he could have a meeting, and he was there at 9 o'clock. So, look, I think that's progress, but they started this fire, so we're not giving anybody credit for putting it out. But right now, what we need is a return to normalcy by these ICE agents out of here.
Walt sends out more fundraisers for his legal defense, again attacking President Trump. Of course, it'll bring the money in for him. These idiots will throw dollar bills at him for that. Oh, wow. Went on a little propaganda tour, visited the memorial for Alex whatever, on Wednesday. Saying we're just personally paying our respects, my wife and I. for the camera.
Can you tell us what's bringing you out here today, sir?
We're just personally paying our respects. So
Sure.
my wife and I.
And do you believe that there will be a shift in tone here from the administration after your conversation with the president here on the streets?
I'm not so interested in a shift of tone. We just need them out of here, and we need accountability for what's happened.
And do you think that will happen? And so he says he does think it will happen there. Exactly when, how that will.
Who are those names written behind him there? Pretty, Renee Good. Who are all these other ones? Oh, there's Floyd. George Floyd. Orlando Castile. Oh, wow. Can't make that one out. Or that one. Amir something or other. Winston something or other. Victor something or other. No idea. Trump FBI just carried out a search warrant and then at an election office in Fulton County, Georgia. What for? Guess we don't get to know. For something. Federal agents involved in the shooting of Alex Preddy placed on administrative leave during the investigation. The right move. Florida Surgeon General Joseph Ladapo just revoked the nursing license of labor and delivery nurse Alexia Lawler, seen here, for saying about Carolyn Levitt's coming child, "I hope you effing rip from bow to stern and never shite normally again, you C word."
As a labor and delivery nurse, it gives me great joy to wish Caroline Levitt a 4th-degree tear. I hope that you fucking rip from
Calm down, ma'am.
bow to stern and never shit normally again, you cunt. As a labor and delivery nurse.
Jeez. ERO ICE agents working and conducting door knocks in Mounds View, Minnesota. Still getting it done. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, new angle shows chaotic moment when Ilhan Omar is sprayed with mystery substance, which is actually apple cider vinegar.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment. Asshole. I don't know.
Oh my God, he sprayed something on us.
I need a napkin to know nothing.
I need a napkin to what?
I need a napkin to know nothing.
I need a napkin to know nothing.
No, we will continue. This assholes are not going to get away with it. You go get checked.
Paid. What do you think? Yeah, just little Hussy Smollett. Exactly what I thought too. Democrats join GOP oversight Republicans to hold the Clintons in contempt of Congress. Which Democrats?
What some of the work that you guys have been doing, you're holding Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton in contempt of Congress for refusing to comply with subpoenas. Give me the details of what they're refusing to do. And I'll just jump ahead. And wasn't this the exact type of stuff that got Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro put in jail?
Yeah, but there's a huge difference in what we did on the oversight yesterday and what we saw in previous Congresses that the Democrats have done. This was a bipartisan vote. Now, I don't think we've gotten enough credit for that. A majority of Democrats on the Oversight Committee, which is the most partisan of all the committees, a majority of Democrats voted with Republicans to hold Bill Clinton in contempt of Congress. And there were also Democrats that joined all the voting in voting to hold Hillary Clinton in contempt of Congress. So it's bipartisan. The Clintons refused to comply with our subpoenas. They waged a public relations battle to say that me as chairman, that I was weaponizing the Oversight Committee, and that essentially the Clintons were entitled to be treated differently. That number one, they didn't have to comply with the subpoena, but if they did, we couldn't have a transcript. And only I could go up and ask questions. I couldn't bring my professional legal staff on the Oversight Committee who do nothing but depositions all week long. So the Clintons got sent a message that they're not above the law. I think this helps the credibility of the Oversight Committee, because it's not a partisan witch hunt like the Democrats and the liberal media were trying to say. With a majority of Democrats voting with us, it proves that we do credible work on the Oversight Committee. This is all about the Epstein investigation, which the Democrats have been obsessed with. There's a key witness here, Bill Clinton, who is photographed countless times with Epstein, who had Epstein over to the White House 17 times while he was president, who flew on Epstein's plane 26 times post-presidency. This is a man that had a close relationship with Epstein, and he should have to sit down and answer questions. Because if the Democrats are serious about getting the truth about the Epstein tragedy and trying to hold people accountable, then we need to hear from all the witnesses, and he's a prime witness. So yesterday was a victory for accountability, and I'm real proud of the work we've done on the Oversight Committee.
Very good, very good. Okay. Trump saying in a True Social post, I think this morning, surprisingly, Mayor Jacob Free just stated that Minneapolis does not and will not enforce federal immigration laws. How does that work, Mayor Jacob? This is after having had a very good conversation with him. Apparently it didn't register. Could somebody in his inner sanctum please explain that this statement is a very serious violation of the law and that he is playing it with fire? Oh, yes, he is. Mayor Free responds to this saying, the job of our police is to keep people safe, not enforce Fed immigration laws. I want them preventing homicides, not hunting down a working dad who contributes to MPLS and is from Ecuador. Oh, come on. Come on, Mayor. It's similar to the policy your guy Rudy had in New York City. Everyone should feel safe calling 911. So why don't they? Like literally right now. Oh shit. Tuberville says it was a staged attack. I am glad we are not the only ones that thought this. Even actual Congress people. It's exactly what that looked like.
The president said that he thinks that the Ilhan Omar getting sprayed last night was fake. He says, I wouldn't doubt it. She's a fraud. I wouldn't doubt it if she went ahead and if she sprayed herself. He said.
Oh, yeah.
What's your take on this? I'm sure you've seen some of it on the internet this morning.
Oh, well, this person sat on the front seat on the front row, right in front of Omar, and then took off running to the right. I mean, if you're going to have somebody that's going to go after somebody, they're not going to run away from them. And that you could tell that was pretty much all staged. And again, I'm just saying that because you look at you look at what the Democrats have done and how they act and the things that they say that they're supposedly for our country, and then of course she is under big time investigation. She's trying to get the heat off of her. At the end of the day, this is the Democrats, playing games, and Ilhan Omar needs to be in jail. And as you said, she's as guilty as they come, third world country and worth $30 million. Hey, this is a great country, and they shouldn't be trying to change it like they are if somebody like her can make $30 million.
Indeed. Rubio testifies on Venezuela.
That's too close. Sorry. All right, okay. Oh, God, these close-ups. The last time someone did these close-ups, I looked terrible. Did you see that on that magazine? No, yours. All right. How many pictures you guys?
Macro Rubio.
Suspend. You know the drill. Off to jail.
That's a war crime.
That's a one-year ban from the committee. Anyone who is a persistent violator will be banned for 3 years. So don't know
Bye-bye.
whether the guy falls in that category. Looks like it. I hope after 3 years he'll find a more productive means of employment. Secretary Rubio, we have 2 hearings a week. You know, you seem to have a more robust following than most of our witnesses that come before us. But
He wears many hats.
Let me just say this. What is our goal going in? We had in our hemisphere a regime operated by an indicted narco trafficker that became a base of operation for virtually every competitor, adversary, and enemy in the world. It was, for Iran, their primary spot of operation in the Western Hemisphere was Venezuela. For Russia, their primary base of operation in the Western Hemisphere, along Cuba and Nicaragua, was Venezuela. In the case of China, China was receiving oil at a huge, about $20 a barrel discount. And they weren't even paying money for it. It was being used to pay down debt that they were owed. This is the oil of the people of Venezuela, and it was being given to the Chinese as barter at a 20%, at a $20 discount per barrel in some cases. And so you have basically 3 of our primary opponents in the world operating from our hemisphere from that spot. It was also a place where you had a narco trafficking regime.
Right in our backyard, man.
Regime that openly cooperated with the FARC and the ELN and other drug trafficking organizations using their national territory. It was an enormous strategic risk for the United States, not halfway around the world, not in another continent, but in the hemisphere in which we all live. And it was having dramatic impacts on us, but also on Colombia and on the Caribbean basin and all sorts of other places. It was an untenable situation, and it had to be addressed. And it was addressed. And now the question becomes what happens moving forward. As I've described to you in previous settings and in individual conversations, we had 3 objectives here. The final, I'll work it backwards because the end state here is we want to reach a phase of transition where we are left with a friendly, stable, prosperous Venezuela.
We'll see if they can pull it off. Okay. Oil sanctions.
And the complexities of it going into it. And I recognize that it won't be easy. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we are dealing with people over there that have spent most of their lives living in a gangster paradise. So it's not going to be like from one day to the next, we're going to have this thing turn
Did he just quote Coolio?
around overnight. But I think
he just quoted Coolio.
Making good and decent progress. It is the best plan, and we are certainly better off today in Venezuela than we were 4 weeks ago. And I think and hope and expect that we'll be better off in 3 months and 6 months and 9 months than we would have been had Maduro still been there. And the complexities of it going into it. And I recognize that it won't be easy. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we are dealing with people over there that have...
I approve, Macro Rubio. Yeah, that is an excellent track. Love the music video for it too. I haven't seen it in forever. Remember it from MTV as a kid. Yeah, I remember this. Back when they actually really did music videos. I love this. It's like all high contrast and yeah, so cool. Those are the days, though, weren't they? All right.
We made multiple attempts to get Maduro to leave voluntarily and to avoid all of this because we understood that he was an impediment to progress. You couldn't make a deal with this guy. Okay? This guy has made multiple deals. He's broken every one of them. As a point of example, he made a deal with the Biden administration, and here was the deal that he made. It was a bad deal. We knew he wouldn't keep it. He made the following deal. Pardon my nephews, his nephews, who are convicted narco traffickers, convicted already and serving time in jail. Pardon them. Pardon and release Alex Saab, who was his money man, his bag man, primarily in charge of the portfolio with Iran. Release these people. He, in turn, agreed to release some political prisoners, which he did. Many of them were subsequently exiled or rearrested, and that he would hold free and fair elections, which he did not. In fact, he basically disqualified Maria Corina Machado and any other candidate. And Edmundo Gonzalez ends up being the nominee for the opposition party simply because they forgot to ban him. And they forgot to put him on the ban list. And then despite that, he loses an election that everyone around the world recognizes as an illegitimate election. So he's made previous deals. In fact, he's broken so many deals, not even the Vatican has been willing to interact with Maduro in the past because he's broken so many of these deals. He's just simply not a guy you can make a deal with. He had no intent of keeping it. What he wanted to do was tap us along and buy 3 years of time until he could deal with a new administration that he thought may be more favorable, etc. He was an impediment to progress. None of the things we're talking about now, not the release of political prisoners, not the transition of the oil industry to a legitimate oil industry, not the erosion of Iranian, Russian, or Chinese influence. None of these things would have been possible as long as Maduro was there.
Shoot. Excuse me. Macro Rubio putting on a masterclass. He really has just grown up, hasn't he? I mean, really.
About that mission remains ongoing, and that is the counter-narcotic mission that we continue to carry out. As controversial as it may be, you may not all be fans of it, obviously, but it is happening in the Eastern Pacific, and it is also happening in the Caribbean Basin. The problem is, or the good news is, there aren't a lot of drug boats moving in the Caribbean Basin anymore, and that's what we had briefed Congress upon. This specific mission that you've talked about, one of the reasons why you rehearse it is to see if it's even feasible. To basically go to the president and say, is this something that's even an option on the table? The truth of the matter is that this mission could not have been briefed to Congress because it wasn't even in the realm of possible until very late in December when all of our efforts to negotiate with Maduro had failed and the president was finally presented these options and made these decisions. It was also a trigger-based operation. It may never have happened. It required a number of factors to all align at the right place at the right time in a very limited window, and it wasn't even clear if it was ever going to be possible. There's also the aspect which I do not control, and that is deference to the Department of War on operational security. Despite the fact that we had kept this quite constrained, the truth of the matter is that this was leaked. We now know it was leaked by a contractor at the Department of War.
What?
That, had it been published, would have endangered the...
Did I just hear the room just...
That had it been published.
Wow, yes, there was some murmurs there in the background.
We now know it was leaked by a contractor at the Department of War. That had it been published would have endangered the lives of people and/or would have probably canceled the ability to carry out the mission. So this is a real tension and one that I'm doing the best I can to try to manage.
Man, I want to know more about that. The leaking.
Within the constraints of two things, operational security and also decisions being made. There are multiple contingencies for events all over the world, including some that none of us think were ever going to come to fruition. And in this particular case, one of the reasons why you rehearse these things in advance is to know whether it's even possible. Is this even doable? And what are the risks associated with doing? So you can present options to the president who ultimately makes these decisions. In the case of reimagining NATO, it most certainly has to be reimagined. And the reason why it has to be reimagined is not because its purpose is reimagined. Its capabilities have to be reimagined. Let me give you as a point of example. There's a lot of talk about security guarantees. And it's something that there's general agreement about now with the case of Ukraine. But those security guarantees basically involve the deployment of a handful of European troops, primarily French in the UK, and then a U.S. backstop. But in fact, the security guarantee is the U.S. backstop. It is not and I'm not diminishing the fact that some countries in Europe are willing to place troops in a post-war Ukraine. What I'm pointing out is that is irrelevant without the U.S. backstop.
He really is good.
And the reason why you need such a strong U.S. backstop is because our allies and our partners have not invested enough in their own defense capabilities over the last 20 or 30 years. Now, hopefully that's going to change. Hopefully that is changing. And in some cases and in some particular countries, it's already changed. But this is a fact that we cannot ignore. NATO is going to be stronger if our allies are more capable, especially, and here's the reality, whether we want to accept it or not, we have interests all over the world. We have interests in the Middle East, we have interests in the Western Hemisphere, and we most certainly have interests in the Indo-Pacific. A number of you have already pointed out that China is the chief...
This is like a once-in-a-lifetime Secretary of State.
Challenge. We can't have the same soldiers...
Like the kind that'll really make a mark in history books. Like the ones you read about in school growing up. That's what he will be.
Or the same ships in both Europe and in the Indo-Pacific.
I have to say, Trump assembled a handful of very, very effective communicators. Marco Rubio at I think probably the very top. Lutnick is quite good in his own way when it comes to the right topic, as is Besant. But Rubio is, and of course, I mean, you got Vance in VP, and he's just a master communicator in his own right. It's, in fact, it's such a seemingly universal characteristic amongst the major appointments he made. It seems like that was pretty intentional. He was pretty deliberate about choosing people that were good at that. It was the right move.
We have to pick. No matter how many ships we build, no matter how many capabilities we grow, we're going to have to make these adjustments. And the stronger our partners are in NATO, the more flexibility the United States will have.
He believes what he's saying too, and he is not feeding some line of bullshit. That is the other thing about that crowd that he's assembled, especially Rubio, but definitely the others. Rubio is just, I think, going to elevate himself even above and beyond all the rest. Like by the time everything's said and through, I would not be shocked to see him as our next president.
To secure our interest in different.
Yeah. In fact, I would not blame him one bit for running against Vance, and I have to be honest, I'd probably vote for Vance. At least depending on certain things. He's good.
Parts of the world. That's not an abandonment of NATO. That is a reality of the 21st century and the world that's changing now. In the case of Greenland, I'll say we're in a good place right now. We had excellent meetings with the Secretary General of NATO. In fact, even as I speak to you now, there'll be some technical level meetings between us and our partners in Greenland and Denmark on this issue. And I think we have in place a process that's going to bring us to a good outcome for everybody. The president's interest on Greenland has been clear. It's a national security interest. It's a long-standing interest that predate this administration. It's one that our allies acknowledge is real.
Yeah. Every time they send him out like this, and I'm more and more impressed.
Followed. Yet it was being rehearsed. If there was time to practice, there was time to consult. And consulting with Congress is not just some high-minded principle, not some abstract thing, not a nice to have. It's a got to have.
That's what we had briefed Congress upon. This specific mission that you've talked about, one of the reasons why you rehearse it is to see if it's even feasible. To basically go to the president and say, is this something that's even an option on the table? The truth of the matter is that this mission could not have been briefed to Congress because it wasn't even in the realm of possible until very late in December, when all of our efforts to negotiate with Maduro had failed, and the president was finally presented these options and made these decisions. It was also a trigger-based operation. It may never have happened. It required a number of factors to all align at the right place at the right time in a very limited window, and it wasn't even clear if it was ever going to be possible. There's also the aspect which I do not control, and that is deference to the Department of War on operational security. Despite the fact that we had kept this quite constrained, the truth of the matter is that this was leaked. We now know it was leaked by a contractor. the Department of War. That
Man. Okay, so this part we've seen. I really want to know more about that, though. That's like seems like a pretty big deal.
What it is, and let's vote on these things. But I think we're in violation of both the spirit and the law of the Constitution by bombing a capital, blockading a country, and removing elected officials. And we certainly wouldn't tolerate it, nor would I if someone did it to us.
well, we didn't remove an elected official. We removed someone who was not elected, and it was actually an indicted drug trafficker in the United States, and their system.
Our laws, indicted under our laws. Look, Bolsonaro says that Da Silva is not really the president of Brazil. Our president said Biden wasn't really the president. Hillary Clinton said in 2016 Trump wasn't the president. So you have these arguments, and I agree with you. It probably was, and most likely was, most assuredly was a bad election. He wasn't really elected. But at the same time, if that's our predicate, and you don't have to come to us because it's a drug bust, we're just removing somebody, you can see where it leads to, and it leads to chaos. And that's why we have rules like the Constitution. So we
What chaos precisely would that be?
don't get so far out there that presidents can do whatever they want. It is this check and balance. And I would argue for 70 years we've been going the wrong way. It isn't just this president, but it's a debate that I think is worth having.
I mean, I'll agree with the last part, but that it is a debate worth having, sure. I don't know about the rest. Cory Booker tries gotcha attempt on Marco Rubio.
Affirming here that these armed militias are running around suppressing voices. We have an administration that has said very clearly that they're not only going to be lifting temporary protective status for Venezuelans living in the U.S., but instead of protecting longtime American residents, they are, quote, the administration is putting people back on deportation flights and sending them into that madness. Does that make sense to you?
Well, first of all, the travel advisories for American citizens traveling there and the threats posed to Americans. What you're describing is
why lift temporary protected status?
Well, the problem with temporary protective status
because they don't deserve it, and they never did.
It was granted to so many people in such a vast numbers so quickly without proper vetting by the previous administration that there's a real concern that there were gang members that had received TPS simply because of the nation they came from and the time in which they came. It became so big and so massive. The overwhelming majority of Venezuelans are not members of Tren de Aragua, but there were Tren de Aragua and other criminal elements embedded in the TPS system. And the numbers were so large that the administration felt it had to cancel the program in order to appropriately vet it through on the individual cases.
Excuse me, Mr. Secretary, this might not surprise you. I don't trust this administration and the way they use terms like terrorist. I've seen them calling American citizens domestic terrorists who are people trying to peacefully protest. The problem.
You're gonna have to be a little more specific, Booker.
Grave danger to the United States. Anyone who believes that gangs that flood our country with fentanyl or cocaine are not threats to the United States
Amy Duckworth
is not living in reality and certainly does not reflect the opinion of most Americans.
The president already said that he was ready to put American troops in Venezuela again. So we're internment law.
No, but we're talking about two separate things here. So you're talking about the state of Venezuela or are describing the regime. And we're talking about, but what the president designated.
Invoked the Alien Enemies
I know,
Act.
Senator, but let me be clear with you. No, but what the president was talking about are these gangs that have, and these narco-trafficking groups that are waging war on the United States. There's no doubt. These groups have waged war on the United States. They have waged, for example, Tren de Aragua is not just a criminal gang presence in our street. It is a criminal gang directly responsible for narco-trafficking.
The Trump administration has acknowledged that the vast majority of the men it rounded up and deported to torture under this law had no criminal records whatsoever.
We didn't torture anybody.
Over 75%.
Who did we torture? We haven't tortured anybody. We've arrested people that are members of gangs and we've deported them. We don't want gang members in our country.
Have found that many of the men were here legally. If the administration is willing to lie about who it's targeting under this law, what protections do totally innocent people have against abuse? Again, I want to ask you, Will you advise the president to rescind his invocation of the wartime alien enemy?
No, of course
No.
not. I mean, these are people that are threats to the national security of the United States. But I've described this in hearings in the past, including
So
before
you're
you guys.
saying that we're at war?
We are absolutely, when it comes to narco trafficking groups and criminal gangs that are targeting the United States for criminal
We're in a state of
activity,
war.
There's no doubt about the fact that we're
So then,
confronting them in a
do the
warlike setting
international
because they're
laws of
waging
war
war on us.
apply, and do the Geneva Convention
They're waging
apply?
war against us, and they're enemy combatants as a result of it. And the fact of the matter is that we are confronting these irregular groups, and that's one of the great challenges of the new century in this hemisphere in particular, is that these non-state actors who possess state-like capabilities in terms of their weaponry pose a grave danger to the United States. I don't think any American would dispute that we have cartels that pose a threat to the national security
with
of the
all
United
of the
States.
other laws of when it comes to warfare. I mean, you're saying that he can invoke this wartime power.
Yeah.
I'm saying, you're asking me, I'm here to discuss foreign policy and what's in the realm of the Department of State.
Well, you
I think
don't
your
think,
questions
you
are
don't
better
think
directed to the
invoking
Department
the
of
Alien
Justice.
Enemies Act,
But I would tell
which
you
is
that.
a wartime, which is something that
Yeah, but you're asking me a
court
question
said
that's-
can be invoked during
All right, but
wartime.
you're
and it's
asking
only
me a
been
question
invoked
that's
during
the
more
War of
appro-
1812, World War I, and World War II.
You're
It's only
asking
been
me a
invoked 3
question-
times, and this president is invoking it.
Okay, you're
What-
asking me a
what-
question about the domestic application of a law that's best directed
not
to the
a
Department of
complication.
Justice.
It's
No,
not a
it is
complication. It's
because you're
very
asking me
simple.
something to opine on something that's in the realm of the Department of Justice in terms of its domestic application. I can tell you that the United States is most certainly confronting terrorist and criminal organizations operating in our hemisphere that pose a grave danger to the United States. Anyone who believes that gangs that flood our country with fentanyl
right,
or
let me
cocaine
ask you
are
this.
not threats to the United States is not living in reality and certainly does not reflect the opinion of most Americans.
The president already said that he was ready.
Good Lord. She is just a piece of work. Total hag.
Speech in
Good old Tim Kaine.
Davos. Here's something the president said in Davos. I'm helping NATO until the last few days when I told them about Iceland. They
Idiot.
loved me. They're not here for us on Iceland, that I can tell you. Our stock market took the first dip yesterday because of Iceland, so Iceland has already cost us a lot of money. President repeatedly mistook Iceland for Greenland, right? We're not mad at Iceland. They haven't cost us any money. The president just mistook the two countries for each other, correct?
Yeah, he meant to say Greenland, but I think we're all familiar with presidents that have verbal stumbles. We've had presidents like that before. Some made a lot more than this one.
Nice try. Thanks. All right. Thank you. I thought he did well. Speech.
I'm just going to move on to a couple of other issues. Your comments that Havana should be concerned about the Maduro operation is fueling speculation that this administration will turn its sights to Cuba next. Will you make a public commitment today to rule out U.S. regime change in Cuba?
Regime change?
Yes.
Oh, no, I think we would love to see the regime change. We would like to, that doesn't mean that we're going to make a change, but we would love to see it change. There's no doubt about the fact that it would be of great benefit to the United States if Cuba was no longer governed by an autocratic regime.
But you know what we mean by regime change. We don't mean, I wish someone else were in charge. When we talk about regime change, we're talking about using the power of the United States, usually kinetic power, but often other kinds of coercion. And I'm not even saying that that's always not in our interest. I'm just saying.
But aren't you though? Aren't you basically saying that?
I'm not asking you whether we would prefer a different kind of government. I'm asking whether you're trying to precipitate the fall of the current regime.
Yeah, but that's statutory. The Helms-Burton Act, the U.S. embargo on Cuba is codified. It was codified in law, and it requires regime change in order for us to lift the embargo.
Okay.
Jeez, it just keeps doing fantastic.
Have been
Every one of these.
described as managing the president's Gaza plan. Meanwhile, Ambassador Barrack is leading on Syria policy, while Special Envoy Boulos is appearing to lead on our Africa policy. So I have to ask you, I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you, are you the lead for U.S. government on foreign policy?
No, the lead on U.S. foreign policy is named Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States. On the individuals you've described, these are very valuable teams. We have an excellent, if I can answer, because I think it's important. It's a legitimate question. I have the distinction, but I think both the benefit of being the National Security Advisor and the Secretary of State. As National Security Advisor, my job is to coordinate the interagency function of national security, and that involves foreign policy. So I speak to Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner in the case of Gaza and now Russia, probably 10 times a day. We have multiple meetings and coordination. All of it is we build a team, we gather facts, we present options, and then we take them to the president.
Have been described.
Barack Obama posting this morning, more and more Americans are voicing their outrage at the tactics being deployed by federal agents in Minnesota. Yeah, it's important to understand the broader implications of what this administration is doing and the threat it poses to the basic freedoms of every American. Turd. All right. Police arrested 9 people who were protesting against Immigration and Customs Enforcement at Susan Collins' Portland, Maine office. Why are they? I mean, I guess because she won't do anything about it. Of course she won't. 50 protesters on the 8th floor of One Canal Plaza. The group was repeatedly told if they did not disperse, individuals would be charged with criminal trespass.
That were taken or lost and engaged themselves in both civic and economic life. But again, I remind everybody, on Friday will mark the 4 weeks since this happened. I get it. We all want like something immediately, but this is not a frozen dinner you put in a microwave and in 2.5 minutes it comes out ready to eat. And these are complex things, and we've seen this play out. I've used the example of Paraguay and Spain. There are others where there is a transition from autocracy to democracy. It's not linear. It's, in some cases, there are ups and downs along the way, but it's trending in the right direction so far, with a recognition that more work needs to be done.
Thanks for your hard work. Senator Booker.
I just want to start by saying what's plain, frankly, be plain to Senator Rubio and plain to members here, is that it should not.
That were taken or lost and engaged themselves in both civic and economic.
Anti-protesters outside Whipple building in Minnesota. Oh gosh.
Yeah, we're just like past the crowd, closer to the parking lot. All right. Oh, there you are. I see you. Okay.
Just getting here. Thank you. We got teams out first.
Yeah, no, my cousin. That's crazy, your cousin.
No, I'm just sorry about that.
I'll bring it to the.
Not much. That's it. Okay. Senator Jackie Rosen.
This administration is out of control. They are running around like they are kings. They're
We're doing the Kings thing again.
blowing up ships, boats, everywhere. They go in, they steal people
Everywhere?
out, steal them in.
Clear the hallway.
Or just like the drug boats that are coming from that one spot? Everywhere?
Sorry, I don't want anyone to fall backwards and then go over. And so they're
Oh, how kind of you.
running roughshod through our own country and through others, and Donald Trump and his cruel, tyrannical cabinet are out of control. And Marco Rubio, what is he, jobs of everything and oversight of nothing. And so
That's funny coming from you all.
you're going to find out as we ask him questions what his responsibility, where his oversight is, where people are consulting him, because it seems like Witkoff and Jared and so many others are running the show. Rubio has many titles, but he has no authority and no backbone.
Wackadoo. Trump says a massive armada is heading to Iran. It is moving quickly with great power, enthusiasm, and purpose. It is a larger fleet headed by the great aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln than that sent to Venezuela. Like with Venezuela, it is ready, willing, and able to rapidly fulfill its mission with speed and violence, if necessary. Hopefully, Iran will quickly come to the table and negotiate a fair and equitable deal. No nuclear weapons, one that is good for all parties. Time is running out. It is truly the essence. As I told Iran once before, make a deal. They didn't, and there was Operation Midnight Hammer, major destruction of Iran. The next attack will be far worse. Don't make that happen again. Whoa, okay. West Virginia librarian has apparently been arrested for allegedly attempting to recruit assassins on social media to kill Trump. A librarian. All right, come on. Give me a news story on this one. Filters. Ooh, today. I think that's got to be it. Yep, West Virginia.
Threatened to kill Trump supporters. I see agents in online videos. Report.
Oh, that's just Indian bullshit. Sorry. Oh well. Welcome to YouTube in 2026. Indian slop. Bondi posting a few hours back. These are the names of those arrested today under 18 U.S. Code Section 111. Assaulting, resisting, or impeding certain officers or employees. Good handful of people. I don't know what this is specifically in connection with.
Look at this. Here goes a group of professional activists renting a U-Haul, getting signs out of their trucks. This is not organic. These are the same printed signs. And now they're heading to the federal courthouse.
What do we want? When do we want it?
Do you know who's organizing this?
The PSL, Party for Socialism.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to sign?
I'm just going to observe. Thank you, though.
Tuck in, meet your
Party
neighbors.
for Socialism and Liberation, huh?
Because again, hey, remember, we're not doing this by ourselves, right?
Which group is organizing this?
Party for Socialism and Liberation. We've been out here for a few years.
How do you join? Like, if you want to also donate?
It's pretty easy. You can look it up, pslweb.org.
Got it. Is there like a Minnesota or Minneapolis chapter?
Twin Cities.
Twin Cities. So, okay, so people can simply just donate and goes to signs and whatever out here to protest.
Wow.
Okay.
If we don't get it, if we don't get it,
If we don't get our way, flip over the chessboard. The FBI is currently raiding the Fulton County Election Hub and Operations Center in Georgia. Oh, shit. Investigation and raid are obviously related to the stolen 2020 election. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
FBI agents are on site at a Fulton County election office in Georgia, where they are conducting a search. David Spunt's got more details for us on this developing story. David?
Hi, Sandra. This is a satellite office for the Fulton County Elections Office. The FBI Atlanta press office confirming this, not giving many details, saying that the FBI is executing a court-authorized law enforcement action. No other details at this time, but we do know via sources a judge signed off on this warrant, allowing these agents, as you see them, enter this building to take items from the inside. Now, we're told that this is a sealed matter before the court, meaning details are now limited. Now, agents are looking at documents, phones, computers. We're told via multiple sources this is related to the 2020 presidential election. Now, we don't know specifically what agents are taking to the FBI lab, items that may eventually become part of a federal case. You may remember President Trump was charged in Fulton County with trying to overturn the 2020 election results. That's Brad Raffensperger right there. He is the Secretary of State of Georgia. That is the Fulton County District Attorney, Fani Willis. Now, Raffensperger spoke to President Trump back in early 2021, and Trump said that he wanted to find some 11,000 votes to help win the election. Raffensperger said that he felt pressure from Trump. Willis then took Donald Trump to trial. That didn't happen. In 2023, she said that her prosecution was all buttoned up, ready to go, but it was completely derailed after it was revealed she had an intimate relationship with the top prosecutor on her team, and it could have tainted the case. Late last year, a judge dismissed the case in its entirety. It's important to point out, Sandra, that a judge typically would not just sign off on a warrant so the FBI could go on what's known as a fishing expedition. It's likely the FBI and DOJ presented some credible evidence to the judge for the judge to go ahead and give the green light. No immediate comment from the Justice Department. Again, the FBI confirming this court-authorized search warrant. We are waiting to see if perhaps Director Kash Patel, Attorney General Pam Bondi, or even Secretary Raffensperger, or perhaps Governor Brian Kemp have anything to say.
Okay, a madman who beat up a pregnant woman among anti-ICE rioters arrested outside Minneapolis hotel. Beat up a pregnant woman. U.S. Federal Reserve and Chair Jerome Powell just refused to cut interest rates, rebuking President Trump. Trump governors Moran and Waller dissent. Unbelievable. Yeah. Here we are yet again.
Bank will keep those rates steady. That's exactly what we expected, despite the president calling for interest rate cuts. And as you were talking about, how are the markets responding? The S&P 500 hitting an all-time high this morning. Now it looks like right now it seems to be retreating. The Fed cut interest rates, as you know, 3 times last year. The Fed is keeping the federal funds rate in the current range of 3.5% to 3.75%. Bank will keep those rates steady. That's exactly what we expected, despite the president calling for
Luigi Mangioni's case here. Manhattan DA wants to start the trial on July 1st before the state trial. Wants to start the state trial before the federal case on July 1st. Another Trump win with DC Circuit denying fired NLRB commissioner's petition for rehearing. Trump won before the 3-judge panel, and Wilcox asked the entire court to rehear the case, and they just refused. Wah, wah. Larry Krasner, DA of Philadelphia, convenes a Zoom call with other radical Democrat prosecutors to plan a lawfare campaign against ICE agents.
We all know
a freaking DA of a major city.
What time it is. We all know what this moment is, and we all know that things are happening that should not be happening, for which people must be accountable now or in the future. So I am delighted to be here with this team, and I am delighted to let people know that not only are we committed, and I'm sure there are many other prosecutors who will join us over time, but not only are we committed to living up to our oaths, to making sure that democracy is preserved, to the rule of law, not only are we committed to law and order when some federal officials whose paychecks we pay through our taxes are not, but we intend to see it through as justice requires in individual cases, now or in the future. And if we do obtain those convictions, And if there are sentences of incarceration or even of probation, the President of the United States cannot pardon them, period. That is plain. There is no question that the President is without the power to pardon people who are convicted in state court.
In a devastating blow to the experts, U.S. steel production now exceeds Japan for the first time in nearly 30 years as a result of Trump's tariffs. Now third globally, behind China and India.
So my name is Don German. I am the plant manager for this Urban Works here. I had 35 years with U.S. Steel. I'm a first-generation U.S. Steel worker. It is an honor to host you, Mr. President, today. And let me tell you, it was a lot of work, but it was well worth it. I will always tell people that, you know, it is for the workers that are out on this floor. It is for our families that are out here who support us. It is for the community members in our community and our state and our country. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So my name is Don German. I am the
Nancy Pelosi at an interfaith prayer vigil honoring Alex Pretty and Renee Good. An interfaith prayer vigil. Oh, wow. Was there vodka? I don't know why else she would have shown up. Bananas and rice. Somali girl has been arrested for assaulting law enforcement in Minnesota. Yeah, this stupid hag.
So I'm Somali. I'm proud to be Somali. To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice. It's a lot. It's like it's an interesting thing. It's very hard to describe what it means to be Somali and what it means to be American, but it's like a cultural fusion. It's kind of like the bananas and rice. You know, people don't really see, like, you know, it's you know, people don't think, oh, you can eat
Yeah, that's because it's disgusting.
bananas with rice, but that's what it's like to be Somali and American.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So it's disgusting.
It's like that combination of banana and rice, but you're gonna get what I mean.
That is no. I'm just gonna go with no on that. It's a big fat no from me. Goodbye. Enjoy jail. Nah. Senate Majority Whip John Barrasso goes on a rampage towards Democrats who are trying to hold the U.S. government hostage yet again.
Police, and now they want to defund our nation's security. If you shut down the government heading into this weekend, that means no money for FEMA at a time when half of the country is under the impact of this terrible storm and another storm is coming. Shutting down the government also impacts TSA, air traffic control, all of those things. The Democrats will be causing chaos all across America. There are 6 appropriation bills in the Senate ready to be passed. The Democrats have had full input into all of them, and they have all passed the House. Overwhelming bipartisan numbers. Republicans are committed to working with the Democrats to keep the government open. Question. Police.
I just want to ask to the Democrats, because this is all Democrats.
Oh, that's an older video. We got more to get to. We'll keep going. Oh, Hillary Clinton says no knight in shining armor is coming to save democracy. We are the ones who will have to save our democracy and our rights. Wow. Tim Waltz asked by CBS News Matt Gutman on whether he blames President Trump for the attack on Ilhan Omar, which of course is fake and ridiculous.
You blame President Trump for what
this attack on Representative Omar?
Well, certainly, it's the tone that's in this country.
Oh, there he is saying his line.
This has all been said. I think it goes back, years of this type of political rhetoric. I can't specifically, and I know the subject. I talked to the representative last night. She was good, but this is the thing that
it's almost like the entire reason she held the town hall to begin with was specifically so this could happen to her.
No tone.
Because I don't know why else she would do it. I don't know why else she would do it at a time like this.
Attacks Representative Omar, attacks her citizenship, attacks the very decency of it, and we've asked him time and time again to stop it. I don't believe he's capable of stopping it. I keep coming back to this: the decency of the American people is going to have to speak up, because even in any small thing he puts on social media, he finds a way to attack her. I'm glad she's safe and appreciate it.
Do you have any idea what the substance was?
I do not. She said that they on site tested it, and I didn't get anything more. But she was good.
How ridiculous!
And
apple cider vinegar.
You saw her resiliency. She will not be deterred.
Does it make you concerned about your own personal safety?
Unhinged Virginia nurse who encouraged colleagues to inject ICE agents with paralytic drug swiftly fired. Should be a lot worse than that. Should be cuffed and chucked in a cell. Wow. Okay, Mayor Zoran Mondani says New York City is facing a fiscal crisis at the scale of the Great Recession. You bet. That's right, Zoran.
We are speaking about a fiscal crisis at the scale greater than the Great Recession. And so there will not be one single thing that can answer that crisis. It will require us to pursue every single avenue. That means looking inward into savings and efficiencies. That also means raising taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations. And
we'll just raise the fuck out of the taxes until they're so high they just leave the state. That'll end well.
It means recalibrating the relationship with the state. We are speaking about a fiscal.
Oh, well, there it is. Recalibrating the relationship with the state, i.e., the boot stamps on your neck forever and it never ever comes off.
Attacked federal agents conducting immigration operations here in the Twin Cities. Now, she says this on Twitter: "We expect more arrests to come. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Nothing will stop President Trump and this Department of Justice from enforcing the law." DOJ has been very active in bringing charges against anti-ICE protesters, and while a lot of those cases have ultimately been thrown out or dropped, it is clear they are trying to send a message about obstructing federal immigration operations. Notably, in the protest at a church in St. Paul just a couple of weeks ago that shut down that worship service, 3 people have been charged, and we know DOJ is actively trying to bring charges against a handful of others in that case. Despite all of that, protests here are not slowing down as the calls to hold those officers responsible for the shooting of Renee Good and Alex Preddy to be held accountable. Sandra?
All right.
Popular sporting event or
Kid Rock in DC
concert, and they'll tell you that's a complete fiasco. So hopefully we can
leading a crusade against high ticket prices. I mean, yeah, that they are outrageous these days. It's I certainly can't afford that shit. Heck no.
Start to enforce the Bots Act, but more importantly, I would like to see, for the time being, a 10% cap be on the resale of a ticket. And I think that solves many, if not all of our problems.
This has been a huge initiative for.
I don't know how I feel about that one. Senate Leader John Thune refuses to denounce Stephen Miller and Kristi Noem. No surprise there. Fox is told that the FBI is taking the lead in the Omar assault investigation. Yeah, Jussie Smollett 2.0. Come on, FBI. Do your job and figure it out. The guys can I guarantee you connected to her somehow. Christy, no, I'm refusing to testify until March 3rd. Senate Judiciary Democrats say. So what, like just over a month? Ooh, oh no. China warns against military adventurism in Iran. Yeah, they would be worried. They don't want that puppet state to fall. Oh no. Least of all to us. At least 60 anti-ICE protesters arrested for trespassing at the New York City Hilton Hotel after refusing to leave the lobby. Morons. Bye-bye. Erica Kirk says Turning Point will now do a dollar for dollar match into the Trump accounts for TPUSA's TPUSA employees' newborn children. That's cool. Another storm coming.
A snowstorm is on the way this weekend for parts of the Carolinas, southeastern New England, especially eastern Massachusetts. In between those areas, it's going to be a very close call of who gets the snow and the wind. We begin with a big dip in the jet stream. That comes all the way down into the southeast this weekend. That brings in the cold air that also produces the storm. Now, that storm is going to intensify Saturday night. Even if it remains offshore, it's going to produce coastal damage, I'm afraid, because of the beach erosion and coastal flooding. And don't forget, especially during high tides, and don't forget.
Here we go again.
On Monday is the full moon. Now, there's going to be heavy snow with this. You could see the area that we've been talking about. The Carolinas, right along the mid-Atlantic coast and in the southeastern New England and up into Atlantic Canada. Let's begin in the Carolinas. This is a storm that could shut things down. That dark blue shading is over 6 inches of snow, 6 to 10 inches of snow.
Oh, boy.
And there's going to be heavy snow in the mountains as well. Now, across the Outer Banks of North Carolina, southeastern Virginia, and perhaps as far north as the Maryland and Delaware coast, this could turn into a blizzard.
Oh, gosh.
This is going to be a glancing blow for New York City, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. At this point, we have a little snow projected. The Jersey Shore, central and eastern Long Island, you can get a period of heavy snow and strong winds that could resemble a blizzard as well. Right now, we feel pretty confident of heavy snow, especially across the Cape and the islands, where this could approach a blizzard as well. The time frame, the Carolinas Saturday night, along the mid-Atlantic coast and New England, Saturday night into Sunday.
Oh, joy. Oh, more sledding for us, I guess. Blackhawks touchdown in Panama as crews gear up for jungle operations. Oh. U.S. and Panamanian forces train side by side to build trust. Yeah. Oh, so this is the guy, Anthony Kazmirziak. His ex-wife, Patrice, is a political activist and a big supporter of Ilhan Omar and AOC. What are the odds of that? What are the frickin' odds of that? Wonder if he used to owe a bunch of child support and all of a sudden doesn't anymore. Or something like that. New video shows, yeah, Alex Pretty attacking and spitting on federal agents just a week before the fatal encounter he had with Border Patrol. Total psycho. Unhinged psychopath.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Pretty interacting with federal immigration agents.
Psycho!
11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him.
You can see the gun, too.
11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him. our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy.
Look at this shit, dude.
On the morning of January 13th, our team received a tip that federal agents were blocking a street at the corner of East 36 and Park Avenue in Minneapolis. We arrived around 10:15 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight. An agent then got out of the vehicle, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground.
Yeah, what a nice guy, their beloved nurse.
During the altercation, agents fired tear gas and pepper balls into the crowd. They continued to hold the man down before they retreat, and he walks away. The man in our footage is wearing a similar outfit to what Preddy was wearing on the day he was killed. What appears to be a gun is also visible above his waistband.
Wow.
His waistband, wearing on the day he was killed. What appears to be a gun.
Yep, there it is.
Is also visible above his waistband. Here,
it's almost like he was trying to get into a shooting altercation.
Continues to stand
in which he was shot.
And at the scene. On the day he was killed, the Department of Homeland Security claims Preddy, a 37-year-old ICU nurse, approached officers holding a handgun. That claim has been contradicted by analysis of bystander videos from multiple news investigations, which concluded that Preddy was holding a phone, not a gun, when he was pinned to the street.
Oh, God. This one, a middle school counselor in Minnesota managing an anti-ICE signal chat group to support illegals. This is who parents entrust their children with. Unhinged wacko. You can see it there.
We left and we headed over to the next building that had 22 of the same home.
Nick Shirley calling for the arrest of more fraudsters after he exposed a building with over 22 healthcare providers and billed nearly $400 million to taxpayers.
We left and we headed over to the next building that had 22 of the same home healthcare providers operating from inside of the building.
Right here you have multicultural home care. And right here it says it's open, but can't even get in. Another Reliance Recovery Center.
It's so nuts. Rick Scott pushing hard to force a SAVE Act vote on the floor.
Senator, you recently urged the passage of the SAVE Act. Do you have any insight as to what the holdup is in the Senate? Why is Stu not bringing this to the floor?
We got to get it. We got to get a vote on it. Whether we do have to do it through a standing filibuster, it needs to get passed. Illegal. Somebody here illegal does not have a right to register to vote in our country and does not have a right to vote in our election.
Thank you. Senator, you recently urged the passage of the SAVE Act. Do you have any insight as to what the
Oh, O'Keefe. Our team went undercover inside the Minnesota mob and was surrounded as agitators admitted what groups they worked with on hidden cameras. Oh, fun.
Our undercover people arrived at the tail end of the protest that evening, including myself.
Watchdog, how you doing? What's going on? It's Jay O'Connell, Watchdog. My fiance is a teacher. Is she? What's she teach? What's she teach? Special needs.
Where are we going? We're going to be a vice agent. Don't you have a thing to cover your face?
We heard chants of ICE out and fuck ICE.
Ice out. Ice out. Fuck ICE. Fuck ICE. Fuck ICE. Fuck ICE.
Hopefully the audience will forgive this reporter for participating in these chants in order to fit in. We found teachers, nurses, and union organizers all telling us, "We appreciate you, neighbor."
Appreciate you, neighbor. Appreciate you, neighbor. I appreciate you, neighbor. A guy came by before and he stopped here. There was a bunch of young kids and they handed out weed to everybody. Really? Yeah. Wow. It was so cool. I gave all mine away. Wow. All but a little bit because I wanted to at least try it. You got anything better than weed?
With a bunch of kids?
Love? Are you a paid agitator? Just kidding.
While many, probably many of you, might think this is all due to some specific centralized funding source, what we found is a hodgepodge of various NGOs and nonprofits loosely tied together through ideology, funded in part by the government, featuring 501c3s with nonprofit tax returns, a variety of funding sources. But most of these people we found were actually true believers, there to live and die by their cause.
What is this about? Yeah, so we're the national organization. The fighting out ICE.
This woman, featured on a hidden camera, is Peggy Wang. Based in Boston, she works at Massachusetts College of Art and Design. Active in the Massachusetts Teachers Association, she participates in pro-Palestinian protests, and her job is currently being
Pretty sure I've actually heard her name before somewhere.
threatened for doing so. While this footage is hard to hear, Peggy Wang lists the issues that her organization gets involved in: immigration rights, abolishing ICE, stopping raids and deportations, justice for victims, and getting ICE out of cities like Minneapolis.
I thought you meant union work. Union work. That our unions definitely need to take the fight against ICE, against the UN back in genocide, but also fighting for reproductive rights, universal health care. Part of that should be labor, workers' party. We need a real political representation for working people, so working class party. Okay. So is this a party? We're an organization. We're an independent socialist group. Independent socialist group.
This other protester we secretly recorded talks about an organization called Make the Road New York. We've never heard of this organization, but apparently they have a budget of $30 million. They talk about one of the speakers that spoke earlier that day, April Veretti. April is the president of the SEIU labor union.
I mean, if you're interested in an immigrants' rights organization, you should look up Make the Road New York.
Make the road New York.
Make the road.
But who are you with?
I'm just with with the union.
Oh.
Yeah. SEIU, Service Employees International.
We looked at the tax returns of Make the Road New York and found they're a registered 501c3 that file a 990, and they received $16 million in grants.
ICE out! Fuck ICE! We love our neighbors!
As cars drove by, the agitators would ride on top of the cars. One man's spoiler was broken off his car as one agitator tried to climb on board the car.
What happened? Oh, just accidentally broke his wing on his car. Oh, shit. Oh, they slapped the shit out of that wing right there.
One of the comments they made was, "There's no blood here, and you know there's no Trump people, there's no MAGA people, because if there was, there would be blood."
We had one person. Oh, I had to have it. Do you have any ashes tried through here today? Nope, not yet. see any blood on the ground? No, I don't see any blood. That's how we know there's no factory. They haven't showed up. They haven't showed up.
One of the advantages of it being so cold is we were able to cover every single part of our skin. But these conditions were truly dangerous. Many of our DSLR cameras actually froze. Our hidden cameras malfunctioned in minutes because it was so cold.
You make this is your thing?
You got to get shit that's made for that.
Did it for the Powderhorn Art Festival because I want to melt ice and get them the fuck out of here.
It is not melting. Oh, it's like what? Oh, you know why? Because it's so cold out. Yeah.
And we watched water freeze in seconds. A bottle of water could quickly be turned into a weapon. Negative 17-degree weather. Let's see what happens to water. Let's see how fast that freezes. 1, 2, 3. It's already frozen.
Anna Polina Luna just laid the hammer. If Democrats block the DHS funding bill and send it back to the House, they'll be forced to vote on the SAVE Act. Okay. Oh, this was so nuts. The Indian guy. Trump's acting cyber chief at CISA, yeah, that place, CISA, uploaded sensitive files, federal files, into a public version of ChatGPT. What's his name again? Madhu Gautamukala. Yep. Fed the interim head of the country's cyber defense agency uploaded sensitive contracting documents into a public version of ChatGPT, triggering multiple automated security warnings that are meant to stop the theft or unintentional disclosure of government material from federal networks. Okay, people fleeing blue states like crazy. New numbers reveal that since 2020, millions have moved to red states.
Here, Martha. Since 2020, the population of Florida is up more than 1.9 million, while Texas is up more than 2.5 million. The people from here.
Ah, that didn't take long. Ilhan Omar now using last night's apple cider vinegar acid attack to raise money. She's begging for money with it. Oh boy, confidence is increasing that snow will develop across the region beginning Friday evening, continuing into Saturday. Significant accumulations of snow possible across much of the area, with impacts to travel being the primary concern. Oh joy. Bongino. Oh yeah, show returns February 2nd.
Here's the tactic. It's very simple. They use an incident like this to garner public outrage. They use their outlets to magnify public outrage. They get the doomers and the black pillars and the weak Republicans to then say, oh, look, I was a 3-time Trump voter and everything's going to, this is nonsense. I didn't vote for this. Most of those people never voted for Trump ever. They're totally full of shit. You either stop unlawful activity or unlawful activity metastasizes like a freaking cancer. That is it. It's either law and order or chaos. There is no on the margin there. You either enforce the law or it's total chaos. Every single little thing, if it was a hiccup, they would try to use it to discredit what was an incredible record we had and probably the best year the FBI under this administration, under any administration's ever had. Here's the tactic. It's very simple. They use an incident like this to garner public outrage. They use their outlets to magnify.
In addition to Governor Walz, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Free is now also raising money for his legal defense fund. Tom Homan's holding a press conference in Minneapolis tomorrow at 8 a.m. Saw that breaking in the last 20 minutes or so. First lady weighs in on the president's dancing.
The final 20 days, your husband was having a lot of fun. He was serving fries at the McDonald's. He was, dressing up as the garbage man with the vest on and doing the YMCA. When he's doing the YMCA, he says you don't like it. How do you feel?
I like it at the certain times.
Okay.
Some days
At certain times.
was not appropriate, and I told him so. But it's his dance, and I think people love it. People in sport all around the world, they're dancing, and it's a great atmosphere when he does. So brings happiness and fun, as well as serious as you need to be as well. So I think he's doing just fine.
You've never done the Y, have you?
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing.
Steak and Shake pledges to support the Trump accounts for their employees, I assume. Yep. Fulton County, Georgia Commissioner Dana Barrett frantic after FBI raided an election center in the area. Oh, someone's in doo-doo.
What you're doing is extremely dangerous.
Why is it dangerous?
What? Huh?
You're spreading conspiracy theories.
It's not a conspiracy theory. You have,
dude, you're getting, you fuckers are getting raided. You have been caught. You've been caught for years, and it's now about to fall down on your heads. Fuck you.
$45. I'm not undermining. I'm not saying people are voting there.
Look at this hag bitch.
Ma'am, I'm not saying that people are voting there. I'm not saying people are voting there. I'm saying people are currently registered to vote there. We went around Fulton County the last few weeks, and we see that people are currently registered to vote in places like empty lots, homeless shelters that closed 10 years ago. What would you do if you become Secretary of State to address
I'm not
that?
going to reply to conspiracy theories.
Ma'am.
A conspiracy. It's a.
You're not going to be able to use that. This is it. Like, you're done.
You can currently go on the voter rolls, purchase them for $45, and go there with it.
Enjoy it while it lasts, because as soon as this all spills out, that one ain't going to work anymore.
Yes, we will gladly take you if you want to go to.
I appreciate what you're saying. I'm not going to respond to conspiracy theories.
How is that a conspiracy theory? It's an act of voter rolls. If you're going to be running for Secretary of State, you're in charge of maintaining the voter rolls. Don't you care about if people are registered to vote from empty lots?
Questions, I appreciate it. I've got to.
Do you think it's a conspiracy theory that people are registered to vote from empty lots?
Are
no. Well, I have the ability to go wherever I want to. People are currently registered to vote in empty lots, Commissioner. And if you're going to run for Secretary of State, aren't you going to at least take a look at that?
Boy, this is brutal material.
It took me $45 to purchase the voter rolls. You can do that as well for the Fulton County. And you can see that people are registered to vote from empty lots. They're registered to vote at a MARTA bus station. Are you not going to do anything about that? You're just going to call that conspiracy theories again?
Yep.
The exact addresses that you can go to right now, 205 Elm Street, Northwest. It's an empty lot. You can go there right now and see it for yourself. Do you not care about that?
Nope. Oh, this is so bad for her. For
You're
all of them.
Elected official, and you don't want to address that? Commissioner, if you're going to be running for Secretary of State, and that involves maintaining clean voter rolls in one of the most important counties, I would say, in the United States.
I think what you're doing is extremely dangerous.
Why is it dangerous?
Because you're spreading conspiracy theories.
It's not a conspiracy theory. Do you have $45? I'm not undermining. I'm not saying people are voting there. Ma'am, I'm not saying that people are voting there. I'm not saying people are voting there. I'm saying people are currently registered to vote there.
Oh, and she's gone.
Jason, right? People are currently registered to vote there. We're not saying people are voting there, Commissioner. We're saying clean the rolls.
Nope.
Jason, so she said that it's a conspiracy theory. Let me actually.
Over and over again. That was good stuff. I'll drop a link to that for those that want it, because that's just so tasty. Okay, let's keep going here. Tom Homan, there it is, just spotted with AG Bondi and Assistant AG Harmy Dillon in Minneapolis ahead of tomorrow's press conference headed up by Mr. Homan. Wonder what we got. Bright and early, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So be there, be square. And I guess that is it. Did a pretty decent job busting through all that. My relief has not yet arrived, so we can dive back down. What did we miss here? Wasn't there something we were going to jump back to? I forget what it was. Well, you know what? I want to know more about Fulton County and these raids. Let's look at that. State Senator Josh McLaurin on FBI raid at Fulton County Election Office.
Yeah, well, obviously, Fulton County officials and the state delegation, which I'm a part of, were extremely alarmed by this. I have to stress what I know so far is unconfirmed rumors from officials talking to each other. But what we've heard is that the main FBI office, not the local FBI office, has been dispatched here to try to collect 2020 ballots. Again, ballots from not the last presidential election, but the one before that. And famously, Donald Trump has made Fulton County the object of his ire throughout the
Gee, I wonder why.
Country. It's made Fulton County, national news for all the wrong reasons, because he has pushed these baseless conspiracy theories that the election was somehow, quote, stolen, and that Georgia was the epicenter of this. And unfortunately, Fulton County officials have paid the price. If we recall that there were county election workers who were harassed, who had to bring defamation lawsuits, who were under physical threats, needed security because of the lies and conspiracy theories that Donald Trump has been pushing. And here we are. It's January 2026, and now Donald Trump is dispatching FBI officials from Maine FBI, I guess in D.C., to try to disrupt county election administration here in Georgia. Now, obviously, they have a warrant signed. We don't know what's in the warrant. We know that a magistrate judge approved it. It's very possible, and we need to stress this, that the FBI lied in their warrant to try to get these ballots or use some small irregularity to justify
wow.
Sale raid. All I can say about that is you have federal judges all throughout the country who have chastised the DOJ and federal agencies for lying to courts. So this could be the very same thing. Obviously, we don't know enough yet, but this is extremely alarming. I think Fulton County and Georgia in general are tired of being the target of Donald Trump's narcissism. That's all this is about.
Yeah, imagine how the rest of the country feels being the target of yours, asshole.
And he's dispatching federal officials at the highest levels of government to try to vindicate his agenda. Again, the local FBI office, as far as I'm aware, is not involved. So that tells you everything that you need to know. This is an order from on high to try to disrupt Fulton County's election administration just because Donald Trump is still mad that he lost the 2020 election.
Where does this tell you about where the Donald Trump administration is going?
I'm not surprised because I thought this would probably come at some point.
Where does this tell you about where the Trump administration going, where the strategy is?
I mean, let's be clear. We had a murder by ICE on the streets of Minneapolis this weekend that has swept national news. It has alarmed Second Amendment advocates because the Trump administration seems to be creating conditions that gun rights advocates have been worried about for years, for decades. So, you got Kristi Noem, calls from Republican senators for her to be fired. So, yeah, against that backdrop, I can imagine that Donald Trump would like to gear up his favorite conspiracy theory to pull all the media attention away from his obvious failures. And you have people like Steve Bannon who have been saying now for years openly that MAGA just needs to keep hitting this conspiracy theory because that's the only way that they can get eyeballs away from the failures that Donald Trump has caused on policy.
How absurd.
So we've got some breaking news for you. An agency spokesperson tells the Associated Press that the FBI has executed a search warrant today at the Fulton County Elections Office near Atlanta. MS Now's Lisa Rubin is following this for us. A couple things we should say that most of our viewers know. This has been a focus of Donald Trump since he lost the 2020 election, right? What happened there? We know he famously called the Secretary of State there asking him to find votes. And we also know that last week he said people will soon be prosecuted for what they did. We don't know
That's right.
what he was referring to, but do we know anything about what's going
You'll know soon
on here?
Well, Chris, we can tell you that last week, in fact, last Friday, a federal district court judge in Macon, Georgia, dismissed a lawsuit by the Department of Justice to obtain voter rolls from the state of Georgia, in particular from Fulton County's Board of Elections. That was dismissed because the judge said it was brought in the wrong place. Now, several days later, we are hearing news from the Associated Press and other outlets that a search warrant has been served on a Fulton County operations center in Union City, Georgia. We have not independently confirmed the existence or service of that search warrant. However, to the extent that a federal judge has already said to the Department of Justice, if you want to pursue this suit civilly, there is a place for you to do so, and they have instead escalated by starting a criminal investigation and getting a search warrant in service of that investigation, that certainly would be a ratcheting up of the sort of retribution that Donald Trump has long promised with respect to the 2020 election and other events and people who he says have wronged him.
FBI Atlanta field office statement.
Oh my goodness. This is gonna be fun. Gonna be a fun saga to watch play out. All right. Well, I suppose that's it for me. We're at the top. And Laura's here. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Yeah.
Good.
Tired though. I need to go sleep.
Well, you got a couple hours.
Yeah, we'll try.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're good. Go get you some rest, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, have a
All
good
right,
show.
man. Thank you.
See ya.
See ya. How's that?